Today we're going to be talking about mangas and manhwas and sauces too. We're talking about a lot. As you all are probably aware, I am currently in the middle of moving into another country, and because of it, my brain's been pretty occupied. Apart from thinking of things to fit in my luggage, I have also been making plans on making videos with the second channel, bringing in my sister, preparing for a video with my mom, getting ready to turn into a femboy for what you guys have been pestering me about non-stop. So as much as I want to stay consistent when making weekly videos for Kiwi, I think my head is starting to short circuit and run out of ideas on what to make. But then I realized, wait, I'm actually very blessed. Why worry on making my own ideas when I have all 60,000 of y'all that are eager to give your recommendations a chance? I know I come off as a tsundere, but I really do value and appreciate you guys, so why not act a little nice and let you guys have the spotlight by reading whatever you guys want me to review? Haven't done that in a long time, but I don't see why I shouldn't do more of these. You guys have all been behaving well, so I see no problem in giving y'all a little treat. So without further ado, let's review the first recommendation by Itadori's wife, who said, "It would make my day if you read and talk about 472323. Well, alright, let's go and give you a great day. Oh. Yeah, I think I remember why I never do this shit. Okay, we're starting out with a manga recommendation from the lovely Mario Fan 2456, which I think is kinda ironic when your profile picture shows My Little Pony. But this person wants me to talk about Boss, Booze, and Bright Stars, so without further ado, let's do a brief recap. This manga is created by Zurikishi, an artist that is famous for giving his female characters tremendous back pain. The story follows the perspective of Albert as he gets a new president of his company, who is the daughter of the previous president of the company, who suddenly died of I don't know, they didn't really specify. But look, she got big honkers! Wow! And a lot of the jokes in the manga seem to revolve around that, and as a young man who likes big bazookas, I gotta say, it does get a little bit redundant. Maybe it's because I've seen the artist's other works, which seem to always have this punchline, but for one, I think they could do a little more. Which is why I was actually surprised when he actually did that shit. This girl is not just a one-dimensional character whose entire character revolves around her melons. Instead, she's got her own personality and actual struggles. The setup is that she is a very strict boss. Because of that, the young staff are terrified while the older ones look down on her due to her age. But Albert here is someone who had had a lot of compassion towards the previous president, and because of that was able to see all of the good qualities he had in his daughter. That being said, the stress still gets to her, which leads to her nightly drinking sessions where she gets dead drunk and creates an alternate persona. Someone who is more honest, a lot clumsier, and has a bad habit of stripping. Because we can't go a full chapter without her showing her bongos, woo! Regardless of my gay-ass complaints though, this setup makes up for a lot of comedic scenes that make me laugh, but simultaneously make more emotional scenes that genuinely catch me off guard. As a person who has also lost my dad at a young age, I can relate to the way she feels for the majority of the time, and the panels where she feels the weight of the world on her shoulder due to the sudden passing of a parent figure and having to take up the mantle of something you weren't prepared for makes me go, damn. This author can cook. Sucks that the romance ain't all there though. Yeah, unfortunately, the romance in here is not the best. It's not so much about the age gap, I really don't care, they're both adults, but the writing for it is kinda ass. It's a bit uncharacteristic coming from this author because his other works usually pace the romantic developments really well, but I think with this manga getting serialized, it feels a bit dragged out. Like, okay, drunk president and sober president are completely different moods, but you're telling me she gets so drunk that she doesn't remember Albert's face at all? No, I have been dead drunk before and not remember why I did, but if you meet the same dude over and over, you gotta know something. Bro, they literally exchanged context. How the f is she still deluded to not know who he is? Also, you nearly f***ed him. Ma'am, you were this close to losing your V card and you still don't know what he looks like? All I'm saying is, she would be the type of girl you would see in an ugly bastard. Either way, I'ma give BBB a 7 out of 10. Okasare Saimin. This is a series that involves mind control and harm in the same breath, and usually that involves some curse-related stories that require you to wash your eyes with bleach. But this one is probably the closest you can get while keeping your morals. The mind control is accidental. The dude in the series spent his time getting bullied by 2 of the 3 main girls. They just got their common sense altered, where to them beating him up is the same as beating him up. I mean, beating him in Mario Smash Bros. So really, in a perfect world, had these girls stopped being such fucking dickheads, none of the action scenes in the story would happen at all. All of the consequences that befell these girls are all their fault. And it's kinda easy to talk about this when the self-insert main character is a pretty stand-up guy. He does absolutely nothing wrong, and in a time where that shit is rare, I kinda value that a lot. You know what else I value a lot? The endings. Cause goddammit, the series fucking cooked. I am just glad that the winner of the harem is the mommy of the trio. Fucking finally. I'm so tired of the older women being the side piece of the harem that contributes to nothing. The teacher is the most interesting, she has the best development, and off the tree, she is the least annoying by a huge ass margin. So 7 out of 10, I don't mind it too much. Next up, someone said, would love for you to read the cute girl sitting next to me is trying to make me fall in love with her as a way to ridicule me, but the tables were turned on her before she knew it. What? Was that the title or the recap of the fucking manga? Yeah, no, I give this one a go. I think my mental state was pretty healthy at the time, just coming back from another manga about a girl sitting next to the main character, and that series being one of my favorite rom-coms to read right now. But man, this is not it. It starts out alright, like, yeah, I get it, the title is long, but at least I get to know what to expect. I just didn't expect to see lolly ass all over my screen. Why on God's green earth was any of this necessary? No, seriously, I don't mind seeing cute, innocent love happening in school, but at no point during my run did I think, man, I would love for this main character to have a younger sister who is weirdly obsessed with him and introduces an element of ecchi. Japan, you know there are adult women you can use to showcase that genre, right? It's really not that hard. I don't give a f***. 3 out of 10. Trapped in Eroge. A lot of you guys won't want to hear this, but I don't really like this manhwa. I know, you're disappointed. It's probably especially disappointing for this guy over here, but I tried. I really tried. I've given it 3 shots in 3 different time spans, and I just can't get into it. And it's not to say anything particularly bad about the manhwa. Off the top of my head, I don't have any complaints apart from it being generic at times, but in a gunhwa, that's an aspect that I don't particularly mind. I guess overall, it's just been mid. Like, I read 15 to 16 chapters and I have yet to feel anything that really hooked me onto it. I don't know, this one is purely based on personal feeling. Not a single thing about this review is objective. For some of you, it could be peak fiction. For some, it's dog shit as shit. For me, I just don't got anything to say about it. So, 0 out of 10. Please read Boku no Koto o Ijimete kusuru o sananajimi no tomodachi to ura de wakazu. Man, you guys are driving me crazy. What is with you guys and using the Japanese names when you know I don't speak that shit? Matter of fact, I know 90% of you don't either. So just use the English title already, goddammit. It says it right there. My childhood friend bullies me, but oh. Yeah, no, you know what? Good on you for speaking the Japanese title. This one is about a dude who kept getting constantly bullied by his childhood friend who definitely, absolutely have no romantic feelings towards him whatsoever. I don't care how much you blush behind his back, you are harassing him day and night, but because of that constant attention, the dude gets noticed by that childhood friend's lackeys, which then leads to those 2 girls advancing some movements and actually secure the W over him. Then the first chapter ends with your childhood friend walking in on her crush playing Mario Smash Bros. With her friends without inviting her, and this much was fine. I think it's a pretty satisfying ending. Until they drop the second part where it shows that childhood friend winning as well. And I find this shit so lame. Man, why can't you just make an ending where the tsundere just fucking loses? Yeah, I like tsunderes more than the other guy, but it would be so satisfying for this bitch to get the consequences of her actions. Whatever. Part 1 was a 7 out of 10, but part 2 lowered it down to make the series an overall 5.5 out of 10. Nirugame-chan is some ass! Literally. From the genius mind behind the angelic yet devilish transfer student with big terabytes, its predecessor takes place in the same universe, with the exception of the focus going from someone with big personalities to someone with a big bakery. This manga starts out pretty okay, to say the least. It follows the story of a girl trying to get the attention of the boy she likes, but can't do something as basic as sitting next to him due to the size of her cake. And the manga basically follows a routine upload of 1 comma chapters where it shows Nirugame-chan either working out or showing off the blessings that her parents gave her. And now in hindsight, this isn't all that bad. It's cheap, sure, but for its targeted demographic, it does its job. You want to see a girl chasing her love? Cool. You want to see a girl built like Jennifer Lopez? Alright, you got her. You want some cute one-off chapters where actual progression happens? Yeah, it seems alright. Looks like a decent time. It just stopped being decent when the author just gave up on trying. Like, at all. This one chapter kinda touched upon a heavy subject, right? It gave us a little twist that all the comedy about her body was actually something that she was insecure about. They drop hints that this is about to become emotional. A girl who we only saw through the lens of something funny is actually facing a serious issue like body dysmorphia. And then, it showed her turning into an angel with 3 other girls, and they all started flying away. Wait. What the fuck am I seeing right now? Then the next chapters afterwards just become one-shots that you would see every day on Twitter when your artist gets bored. What is this? So what? You just stopped? You just stopped telling the story there? I didn't particularly like what I was saying, but that doesn't mean I wanted it to end like that. Scratch that. Did it even end? You started out this mid-ass series, no pun intended, and dropped a chapter that defied literal physics and just refused to elaborate any further. And now, you're just pretending that none of it even happened? 3 out of 10 wasted my time.
He was whipping up shit in a kettle, boiling shit.
Actual shit, like
boiling poo.
So far, this is how I feel about most of y'all's recommendations.
Mike,
he was boiling shit.
By the way, what's the next comment?
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man.
Finally. Some good fucking food.
He was whipping up amazing foods, like making happiness. Actual happiness? Actual happiness. Enjoy.
I've mentioned this multiple times before, but I love this manhwa. The only reason I didn't make an entire video reviewing it is because I would just spend 30 minutes glazing it non-stop. But considering the current situation, I'ma do my best to shorten it down to a 5. As far as manhwas go, this series has a perfect balance of everything it wants to show you. Predominantly it's a comedy, and due to that, you are going to read this shit and laugh your guts off at least 10 times during the entirety of your run. But when it becomes a shonen, it provides some of the best action sequences I have ever seen. Period. The art is downright phenomenal, and as the series progresses, the fights just get better and better to the point where I get shell-shocked that this comes from something that is supposed to make me laugh. Because even on top of that, they add drama, scenes that just tug on your heartstrings, plot twists that catches you off guard and elevates an already amazing experience, all of which are shown with characters that you love and adore, each with their own stories that ascend your typical brain rot manhwa. Manhwas nowadays are full of slop. They all look the same, work the same, the main characters are usually the only characters that matter and the only thing they do is fucking aura farm. Meanwhile, the side characters here are given love. Love interests get their love. Add that on with the sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. The protagonist who is peak and showcases peak brotherhood and friendship with the protagonist who is also fucking peak. Lloyd. It's so fucking dope. I have no words to describe how awesome this dude is. On one scene, you'll see him doing something restarted, another scene he'll blackmail the mayor of a city, and another scene he'll brainwash an entire fucking country that was led under a dictatorship. And his brainwashing is so good that he managed to hypnotize us. And for those of you who have read the series, say it with me now. Lloyd equals water. Water equals good. Lloyd equals good. 10 out of 10 absolute water. 396497, graded by Nakamura Regura, who is my ultimate guilty pleasure, except I don't feel any guilt, so really it's just pleasure. Basically, I'm saying I goon to this artist a lot. Nakamura has found a formula in creating the perfect yandere mommies possible. And I don't just mean crazy ass women, I mean mommies that have that dommy quality but in love with you so much that they get possessive. Add that on with the usual pairing with the Shota self-insert main character to really bring out those mommy characteristics. As a Shota king myself, their sauces are the pinnacle in what Kiwi find masterpieces. But to talk about this work in particular, it's one of the ones that are slightly more tame than the extremes that Nakamura Regura has made. It's about a dude who is in love with his childhood friend slash onesan slash tutor, but is insecure that she only sees him as a little brother. The anime kind, right? Yes, dear viewer, the anime kind. Because this mommy is down to the bone infatuated with this dude. And holy hell, this shit is peak. It's kinda like the plot to Obsession, except without all the mind control and the f***ed upness and the gore. Plus, instead of a young Latina, it's by an older woman who can be soft and gentle while still wrapping you up under her arms that it feels like she's eating you up. Yeah, this peak Kiwi. 9.5 out of 10. Buddy, you have no idea how happy this comment makes me. Let's talk about the easiest first. A story about a very ordinary couple. You ever wonder, damn, I'm tired of all the drama. My eyes are tired from all the cleansing. Can I just read something with a lot of sugar without worrying about getting fat? Well, let me put you on game with this series about a hardworking husband who loves his caring, dependable wife who is just in love with him as he is. Two absolute soulmates that fill up your heart and make you believe that this thing called love is real. I posted this manga on my Instagram, link in the description, and I would see comments being negative saying that they will never get this in their life. But why? Who says that you can't? Anything is possible. You just gotta look for it and eventually you might find someone special. Because this manga is telling you that this is not extravagant. It isn't epic. It's not something out of a fantasy play. This is what ordinary looks like. And it's beautiful. I like this manga a lot, 8 out of 10. Another one that's been making me kick my feet all giggly in bed is My Girlfriend is Big and Cute. Now this manga is a sweet little rom-com about a short dude who managed to rizz and get a snoo tall girlfriend, and before you say anything, no, I am not self-inserting myself as his main character because we are both the same height. Because I honestly want to be the girl instead. Bro, if I have a man that yearns for me as much as this dude yearns for this girl, I'm doing anything you want me to. It's so refreshing seeing a high school couple that somehow manages a perfect balance between innocent youth while still keeping that tone of assertiveness that doesn't get in the way. A lot of rom-coms keep a will they won't they situation at bay and never let them get together until the very end of the series. This is usually because most people lose interest when there's not an element of chase, which usually dies down when the characters reach endgame. This manga is telling you, yeah, they're a couple, but there's still a lot of shit that you gotta do. Yeah, Brody, go be a Chad. Yeah, girlie, you go make your mark on that man. That boy is yours. Unlike the ordinary couple of the previous manga who's just showing off their fluffs, these two are still in that process to get to that level. And I think there's a lot of charm there that people are missing out on. Every chapter in this manga never fails to make a smile on my face. It's adorable and easily top 5 ongoing rom-coms I like to read right now. At least, I think it's ongoing, because the updates are way too slow! Southern! Drop another chapter! And my life is yours! Yeah, I really wanted to say that line. Watch Tune Into the Midnight Heart. It's really good and the MC is a Chad. So I watched that anime. It was fun. And yeah, the MC is a Chad. But I promise you the manga is a lot better. Not to sound like one of those elitists, but it's kinda crazy how mediocre the adaptation is. The art that goes on in this series is so good that it's mind-boggling how they manage to pump these chapters out weekly. But enough glazing on the art, in the grand scheme of things, that shit don't really matter. You can have the best art known to mankind, but if your story is shit, then your manga will forever be known as garbage. And y'all know me, I think the harem genre is one of the worst tags you can ever have as a manga. They are unfunny, generic, and most of all, have endings that make you want to rip off your skulls. So, does this manga fit those descriptions? No. No, yeah, this manga is pretty good. Let's tackle the first claim I made. I think it is pretty hard to objectively claim that this manga is funny because comedy is subjective, but I think it's even harder to argue otherwise. For one of the most annoying tropes in harems is when the main character walks into the heroines of the story while they are changing. It is so overused and not once has it ever made me laugh. And I used to watch the show when I was 14. Do you know how bad you gotta be to make 14-year-old me not laugh? But when they tried to do that shit in this manga, I was prepared to roll my eyes, but instead, I was blessed. Because the scene ended with the main character actually scolding the girls and getting angry at them for not locking the room. I think this might be my favorite scene in all of 2025. This also segues to my second claim because this main character is by far and beyond my favorite harem main character ever. Dohyun from That's Not How You Do It used to have that throne, but this guy takes the cake for me. I knew we were in for a treat when the first line he brings up is
ということで、今から一人ずつ俺に向かって愛してると言ってくれ。
Yeah, no, this guy definitely has a huge penis. Deadass, while watching the first episode, I wrote down, as long as he keeps this energy for the rest of the series, I won't have a single complaint on how he gets girls falling for him. Because another one of my complaints of this genre is how lazy the writing tends to be. There is always that one moment that makes the girls fall for the main character, and it is always attributed to the hero going, wow, he's so nice, he's not like the other guys. I've never had someone complimented me that way before. Girl, you're literally a J-pop idol. Be so for real. But the girls in here naturally fall for him just by spending time with him. They fall for him because as you read, you think, shit, who wouldn't fall for him? He's rich, competent, extremely confident in himself, and it is next to impossible to not have fun when he is around. Are you kidding me? If I was any of the girls, I'd throw myself at him non-stop. Actually, that's pretty much all they do after the 30th chapter. Which is why it's kinda weird that they're still in a good relationship with each other. Keep in mind, I still haven't caught up, but I think the biggest flaw in this series is the lack of drama. Again, I haven't read the latest chapters, but I'm not too confident that anything has changed. All the girls have each had their moment to shine. Some managed to take the step to the next level, some have gotten major development with the main character, but somehow, none of them are fighting. Look at quintessential quintuplets. At one point in the story, 3 of the girls were in major romantic paths to the main character, and all hell broke loose. But the girls in here all seem to accept that they have feelings for the main character, and are cool with it. I mean, it's not necessarily bad, but god fucking damn it, I want some spice. I want to see depression, chaos, harems are at their peak when the girls start going feral and go through lengths that scare the absolute shit out of me. Just me? Okay, well, yeah, to tackle the last part about the endings, we'll have to see how it ends, but I have faith that this author can cook. 9 out of 10, pretty fucking good. And last but not least, Yes Daddy Guild 6634 says, can you read Office Menace Alert? I know you already did, but curious to know how you feel about the ending. So the OGs who has been with me for a long time would know that Office Menace Alert is the first ever manhwa that I reviewed in this channel. And I made the bold claim that this is the most garbage manhwa I have ever seen. And you know what? I don't think that's true anymore. But it doesn't count as clickbait, okay? Back then, that shit really was. It's just that I've read other works that is somehow worse than that, but also because Office Menace Alert is actually not as bad as I thought. One of my complaints was how the main character of the manhwa was the worst manhwa main character ever. But as you may have seen in a recent video, that's not true at all. Someone somehow made a more insufferable character than a lying, cheating scumbag worm. But also because this guy actually got character development. Now, don't be expecting no Arent Season 4 type of switch up, but he does kinda straighten out. He's no longer much of a dickhead. He actually reflected on the wrongdoings he did towards the women, which was the craziest thing I have never expected. And on top of that, his taste in women. Something that I fuck with a lot. Hell yes, dude. This guy actually became honest, told his girlfriend about his flings, ended it off in a healthy manner, and actually got with the mommy. You have no idea how happy this made me. This mommy is by far and beyond the best thing about this manhwa. No, you know what? Even when the manhwa was shit, she was the only reason to make me wanna keep reading. And to see that character getting rewarded by getting the W in the end, it's pretty damn satisfying. Don't get me wrong though, the manhwa is still ass. Whatever. Back then it was so awful that it was almost unreadable, but now it's not just trash, but more of a delicious garbage. So overall, I'm going to give Office Menace Alert a solidifying score of 6.5 out of 10. Guilty pleasure. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing this again anytime soon. No, I'm not being mean. It's not y'all's fault. This video just takes a little bit longer than usual, and with my current commitments, I just don't see myself making these types of videos at the moment. Maybe in another few months. I don't know. Don't pester me. Also, just to let you know that I had no say in what to read. These comments were given to me by my friend. I didn't know what to expect, so no, I didn't intentionally ignore your comment when making this video. If I tried to read everyone's recommendation, this video would be 30 hours long. And as much as I like you guys, I don't want to spend an entire month catering to every single one of you. So relax your boobs, I might read your comments in the next video. Who knows? Because there's actually another comment that got through, but I want to save that shit for next week because this series deserves its own video. Although, I don't know if I can get it done by next week since I'll be moving, which is gonna be taking quite a while. But anyways, the uncensored version of the video is on my Patreon. I'm gonna be doom scrolling for a few days, so do not follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or my second channel. Leave me alone. I think we need some space with each other. It's kind of a hard decision, but it's a necessary one. Okay, bye-bye!